All right, guys. Welcome to the next community and development update number 8 for today. We have myself and Data and Mark DeMessel that's going to be doing the update today, and David and Elizabeth and David's busy with his girlfriend. He said he's been geeking out too much on Next and has to spend some time with his family, so. He's doing that, and Bass is busy with work, so he's not able to join us today. And so it's just going to be a short update today, and hopefully, and a light crew here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Data here. You wanted to update us on the adapter that you've been working on, so that the exchanges can help can start listing Next on their their exchanges?
Interestingly, also as a side effect from the Amsterdam conference, we got a lot of feedback from the exchanges and found out that one reason for them to be a little bit shy to list Next on their exchanges is that they would have to reprogram their APIs, or rather that they speak to the standard Bitcoin API only. And that the changes they would have to implement are something which they are shy to do, because it's a risk. They have to put work into it. They don't know if it will work at all. So this seems to be one important blocking reason for why Next is not on so many exchanges yet. And so we have started a little project to map the Bitcoin calls to the Next calls, and then map the results from the Next core back again to the Bitcoin. Basically building an adapter so that the exchanges or other businesses can talk to this adapter just as they are used to talking to the Bitcoin daemon. And internally we map this to the Next calls, call the NIS core, and take the results and map them back to what the exchanges and businesses are used to from the regular Bitcoin daemon. And we hope that this will foster the adoption of Next quite a lot. It's quite an interesting little side project. It's not rocket science, but a little bit fiddly to look out for what goes into what when passing the data around. Okay, so just to, I'm going to attempt to interpret all that technical data that you just provided to everyone, Data. Adapter.
Is it safe to say that you and the other guys are working on the adapter so that the exchanges can connect to the Next network and the Next platform, so they can list it on their exchanges?
Without having too much without having to put in work by themselves.
Okay, so you guys are doing it for them because they don't have the time, the resources, or the I guess the technical know-how at this moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably they would, but maybe they're just lazy, and if it doesn't work, it's their time that's going down the drain.
Okay, so you are investing your time and resources into building that adapter or that bridge so that the exchanges can connect to the Next network, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that there are technical people like yourself who is out there doing that, because I sure as hell don't know what in the world you are doing. But I trust that you're going to make it happen. So, what else does the community need to know about the Next platform at this moment?
I think there were some changes in the standard GUI, the Wesley client, but I'm not quite up to date with them. I just noticed.
Yeah, what's going on with that? We have. I noticed that I'm still on version 1.3. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, I'm still on version 1.3, I think, and the new one 1.14 or something like that. They removed the listing of the assets on the asset exchange, and there's been some controversy about that in the Next community. Some people want it listed and some people don't want it listed. Can you give some input on that?
I must admit, not really, because I only noticed like yesterday, because I was so busy with this adapter thing. But I can imagine that this is a reason for some kind of controversy, because this is a design thing and not a technical core thing really to do. Some people say it's safer if we protect the users that are less experienced from making mistakes. And some others say the counter argument is that this is, of course, some nannying which the GUI client does, which really is not good for users who know what they're doing. And there is no really final answer to this. It's just something, a decision which a GUI author has to make. And then you may like it or you may not like it, and if you don't like it, you have to use another client. But it's nothing which is really goes to the core of Next itself. It's just a client thing. So you may use another client if you don't like it.
Okay, so basically the asset exchange is there and it's available for everyone to review and to gather the data from and to list it how they want to. It's just that the developers chose to remove the listing on the current model of the Wesley client because it was creating for safety purposes, right? To prevent people from getting new users to the Next platform, to prevent them from getting scammed and to just make amateur mistakes, right? Okay, so
maybe I wouldn't like it that much, but then again, there are arguments for doing that.
Okay, I think that from from a sales and marketing perspective, I'm looking at the asset exchange right now. I think that on there, the first listing is something with AAA DD and then AAA share and then alias group and alt chain Apple, and then the listing after that says bad Ponzi. I think that, in my personal opinion, that there should be a way to switch it on and off the listings because it's listed in alphabetical order there. It's I think that it's very easy for someone to try to game the system and list their assets at the top and just to advertise themselves, right? So I think that it's the platform needs to remain, the client needs to remain neutral so that everyone can use it.
Yeah, especially since it is the standard distribution client. So if you don't like that particular kind of thing, you're going to have to write one yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe another one that somebody else has written.
Yes, and I agree. I think that a lot of people may not like it, but I personally, from a marketing perspective, I think that since it's the default client that everyone is using, that it should remain neutral, and that if you want something with all the assets in there, just use another client that has all the asset listings in there, because
all the guys. And if you do know the asset ID number, then of course you can pull it up. No problem then. But you have to know specifically which number you are looking for, and then you get that particular one which you want to have displayed. Which also again then puts the responsibility a little bit more to the user, because if the user says, I want to have this asset listed, then he has made that decision.
Okay. Yeah, because from a marketing perspective, I can think of 100 ways to game the system so that the top 20 listings is under my name or under my products or service or my website. So I think that needs to just somehow remain neutral so that the people that have more money do not try to game the system over the people that do not have a lot of money, because we're trying to make a fair and equitable platform and client here. So, all right. Is there anything else? I know that on the is there anything else on the technical or infrastructure side? Because if not, then I'd like to go over to the marketing and promotion side.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So we know that after the success of the guys, I'll just call it the Amsterdam crew. They promoted Next very well at the Amsterdam conference. So now there's more and more people from the inside the Next community that is looking to promote the Next platform at upcoming conferences, which is good. And then we also have people outside the Next community that's looking to to promote the Next platform at conferences also. So now the next one that the Next community seems to be working on is the Pay Expo that's in London on June 11th through the 12th. Well, what do you know about that?
I'm not involved in the core team, so I only know a few bits and pieces, but they're very busy organizing it. There will be also people at the actual Pay Expo, It was there were some discussions going on as to whether to go there or not, because it appears to be quite expensive, but there was a fundraising going on, and the decision was made that some people would be going, and they are organizing it. It's best
Okay.
I can say at the moment. And
My
also,
under
the audience is different from the usual Bitcoin conferences, because it's not a cryptocurrency-centric conference, but it is rather a payment system conference where cryptocurrencies are only a sideshow, so to speak. It's more about credit card companies, Western Union, MasterCard, Barclays, and such. So this will be a very interesting event, and it has huge potential, both for embarrassment and for success.
Okay. Now,
I'm not really more involved with that.
okay. My understanding is that like 650,000 next was raised to fund the the promotion at the Pay Expo, and like you said, it's a payment processor conference. It's not a cryptocurrency conference. So yes, I agree with you that there is um, a 50-50 chance that we have success with it, promoting the next platform. But at the same time, it could also backfire, if we don't do it right. Now, my understanding is that Salsa CZ is the one that's kind of organizing it, and I think he just joined us here. We were just talking about you, Salsa. Do you have your microphone on so that we can ask you about the Pay Expo and you can update the community with it? Okay. I'm going to give Salsa a moment to get his microphone adjusted and get live audio here so we can broadcast the updates from him. But while we're waiting for him, my understanding is that Salsa put it together and organized it, and now everyone else is jumping in to help out. There was some disagreements. Some people did not think that we needed it, and then some people thought that we needed it. But now that the funds have been raised for it, I think that there's a consensus now that everyone is going to pitch in to help make it a success, so that that the next platform does not look bad or fail at the conference. So just let me know whenever you're available to talk, Salsa.
I think I am.
Okay, all right. We were just talking about the Pay Expo conference and you putting it together. Could you update the community on what's going on? I know that my understanding is that you're going to the conference, and then the guys from Cointropolis, John and I think Nifty Nickel or Thrifty Nickel, the three of you guys are going there. Could you talk about that?
We've got 5 free tickets, and we will use one for the TextCoin guys, Delhi, 2 for Cointropolis. So we've got 2 tickets left that we are not paying for. So, and just today, this team was joined by some lawyer. He will be flying there for a very cheap price. So we can still decide who will be the 5th member of the team.
Okay, now you organized this whole conference deal and the fundraising for this, right?
Yes, I basically kickstarted it because I was like some middleman between the TextCoins now and next community and the Pay Expo guys. So I was trying to raise the fundings and kickstart the whole thing and find the people who could help with it. And
okay, now could you talk a little bit about the Pay Expo? Data mentioned earlier that it's not your typical cryptocurrency conference or a summit. And what made you get interested in this Pay Expo conference? And what made you decide that, hey, you know what, this would be a good opportunity to showcase the next platform?
well, this is a fantastic opportunity that you don't want to miss. If there is any chance you can do it, you should do it, definitely, because here you can take the Bitcoin's place and say, why use Bitcoin? You can just use Next. It's the same, but better, cheaper and faster in development.
All right, and there was some when I was reading through the forums, there was some controversy about the TextCoin platform and the Next platform, and that the TextCoin folks are using the NextCoin community, the Next community, to help fund them and get them exposure and stuff. Could you clear that up or talk about that, or what is the relationship between the Next community and the TextCoin community, and what is TextCoin? Could you talk about that?
Well, I'm not paid by TextCoin, so I just know this guy from the Skype, so we talk a lot. But and the thing is, TextCoin is already going to the expo. He got free ticket, and he was. They told him if he wants to bring Next there is a chance. So they said they would make Next, a sponsor for very lower prices than others had to pay. So the Pay Expo wants to have Next there because they want to make fun of Bitcoin. But this is something different.
When you say they want to make fun of Bitcoin, can you elaborate on that? I mean, what is there to make fun about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is way ahead of us. We're only worth 4 cents a coin right now, and they're worth almost $600.
Bitcoin always comes with the same things. Bitcoin never brings something special because it has so slow development that they are just way. Bitcoin will be some other cryptos will be faster than Bitcoin in the building new things.
Okay, so okay, so now is all the funding is it provided by the Next community, or is it split between the Next community and it's also money is also put up by the TextCoin community, or is it just 100%?
The thing is that TextCoin decided to use Next as their current currency, and he said, okay, so if we want to use Next, we need to make a lot of marketing for Next because we need vendors merchants to accept Next. So he started with 95,000 Next as a donation we were raising 650,000 Next. So first he donated 95,000 to this. Then he donated his shares to those who supported it, and then TextCoins provided tens of hours of work of negotiating. He also is doing the exchanging Next coins for other currencies. And he paid for a lot of other stuff. Even in just few days, we are going to Vienna, and he paid for hotel and found free tickets. And he's a very generous sponsor. And he's doing this for NextCoin, not only for TextCoins. He became an extra in the last few weeks when he was talking to me, and then other people like Demelon and Evil Dave and others, John Contrapost guys, started to talk with him, and they found out that he's cool and he's not a scammer, so they started to trust him and support his decisions to help Next.
Okay, so now just so that for the people that don't know within the Next community, Next is a platform and it has a coin that it uses, a currency called NextCoin. Now, is there a conflict of interest because TextCoin has the name TextCoin, but are they a payment platform, or are they a coin, or what are they?
They are going to be some payment platform that will allow people using cryptos without internet, only by using mobile phones, old school mobile phones. So I heard that you will have to just when you buy something, a coffee, you will type SMS, short message, SMS, and then you will receive a call. You will tell your some password to the live person, and he will validate the transfer, and then the merchant will get a SMS that this payment was paid. So
Okay,
this whole thing is without internet.
okay, so TextCoin is not a coin; it's a
No.
mobile phone payment network or payment system, and
Mhm.
they wanted to use the next currency as the currency that they're going to demonstrate or showcase or demo how their mobile payment system works. That is used on dumb phones, the older phones that just use text messaging only. So is that what it is?
Yes, and they're going to be in Africa, Asia, and other countries, and they will be using the next coin as a bridge. If you want to send some coins to anyone, it will be in next coins. But as I heard, uh, people will be able to um, use even other cryptocurrencies to fill their wallets or something like that to
Okay.
have more money in their wallet.
Okay. Data, you have a question for Salsa about TextCoin and M-Pesa?
Now you can hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question there, and that is that in especially Africa, there is a currency called M-Pesa,
Mhm.
which also uses, I think, SMS and mobile phones to make small payments, and it's quite successful there, and it has been in, I think, Kenya, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
for 7 or 8 years already, and they are also expanding to Romania at the moment. Is it somehow comparable to M-Pesa, the TXT coins?
It's like a competition. The thing about text coins is, I'm not a representative. I just read a lot about it.
Yes.
But they are 4 years old, so they were working on this for many years, and they prepared a lot. They have about 35 steps. Now they are in the fourth step to become, some huge successful payment processor for worldwide payments. So the thing about M-Pesa, Dolly says that they aren't so cool. He thinks that the text coins has some cooler features or something like that.
Okay. All right. So so basically, to summarize it, so you guys are going there. TextCoin was already going to the Pay Expo, and they invited Next to come along, so they can use the Next currency to demo their mobile phone payment service.
Yes, and plus to represent Next as a cryptocurrency before 2-3 thousand business people, before airlines and payment processors and mobile phone people from those
Okay.
firms.
And so they invited the next community to come along to the Pay Expo, and the TextCoin people put up 95,000 next, and
Mhm.
then you and the rest of the next community was able to put up the balance of the 650,000,
Mhm.
and now you, John from Cointropolis, right? And Thrifty Nickel, I mean Nifty Nickel, are going to the conference for sure. Correct?
Uh, I am not for sure. I have a time, so I can go there even before to prepare it, but we will see in few days because there is still the fifth spot. If there is anyone very skilled in business, those financial guys, this is not really my. I'm more like a geek or something.
Okay. Mark DeMessel has spoken. He's one of the investors of the Next, and he has expressed interest in attending with you guys if you have a slot available. You want to talk about that, Mark? If you're available?
Yes, yes. I'm interested to come. So, yeah, I would be interested to come and help speak at the booth. And I don't know, the speaker slot is filled?
The speaker slot, it's about someone will have to present next in like 4 or 5 minutes, and then there should be a 10 minutes show with the payment process when someone will be sending those next coins via mobile phone.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Mark, I think that from my understanding, I think that John from Cointropolis, he has a background in business and marketing, so I think he's the one that is probably going to speak there if they only have 5 or 10 minutes to represent the next platform.
Okay.
So they're probably going to stick him there to speak about that.
Yeah, I'm interested to come anyways. So, Salsa, maybe we can have a Skype call after this?
Yes, it's no problem.
Cool, thanks.
Okay. All right, so you guys can discuss that offline. And I know that Bass just joined us here too. Do you have any updates about the Pay Expo or anything that you're working in the background with the other guys, Bass?
No, it's been busy this week. It's interesting to see that we now have different avenues of doing the marketing, and also different views of what to do. And this is going well now. I'm very glad that that Cointropolis has been able to do this. That they are now fully funded and that they're going. I think they're two of the most capable people to pull this off. It's a very big arena to work in.
Yes, and for some of you guys that are not familiar with payment networks and payment systems, it's a very elaborate system that goes on behind the scenes. Some of you guys may not be aware of this, but you may take it for granted because we're in the cryptocurrency world that things happen easily on a peer-to-peer basis. But on the credit card world, it's not like that, and it's a very complicated process, and it's very competitive, and so when you go there, it needs to have people that are qualified and understand that arena to represent the next community. Because if we have a powerful payment network and a platform to showcase, but if the people there don't represent it well, then we can look bad. So I'm glad that I've spoken with John before. And I'm glad that he's there to help represent that and to have Salsa and those guys there. Is there anything else that the community needs to know about the Pay Expo that's coming up?
We could add that we raised about 250,000 next for the to pay for flight tickets and hotels and etc. So basically, Cointropolis guys we are sending from the United States there. They got 200,000 from one guy, Intman. He's a very smart developer who just donated it this much, but he would like to ask some bigger stakeholders if they can cover this.
Okay. Speaking of the fundraising and everything, I spoke about this with Bass in private. Because I'm not able to attend some of the conferences. Several people have emailed me and PM'd me in private about speaking at the conferences, and I've made this clear before that I cannot. At this moment, I'm not able to leave the U.S. and attend any conference outside the U.S. But if there's any conference inside the U.S., I'll be happy to attend it and be able to attend it. And the next one that Bass and I think John had mentioned to me was there was one in Washington, D.C., Bitcoin in the Beltway on June 20th or the 22nd, somewhere around that time slot. So my work schedule, I don't know my work schedule until the last week before I have to go to work. So because of that, I am looking to go to that one and showcase the next platform officially and formally at the Washington D.C. event. If I can make it, if my work does not prevent me from going, then I will be there. So and I will post that in the forums later on about that, more about that. And I was actually I had spoken with Mark DeMessel about this, that he wants to attend it and help speak on stage also about the next platform. And what I'll do is I will try to secure us a speaking spot at the Bitcoin, the Beltway in Washington, D.C. And if for some reason I'm not able to make it, then Mark can speak there, so that we have two people going, and then that way we'll have a backup in case one of us cannot make it.
Yeah, thanks, Ty.
Yeah. So that's the update I have, and I want to. The reason why I want to attend the one in Washington D.C. is it's right in the heart of the capital of the U.S. And also I want to, the Amsterdam crew team has really put the next platform out there in Amsterdam, and now Salsa and the Cointropolis guys are going to put the next out there at the Pay Expo in London, and I want to also keep that momentum going so that it's in the news and it's in the media constantly. Okay, so
one of the things I also want to make clear, of course we went to the Amsterdam conference, but all that work doesn't stop there. A lot of work is still being done behind the scenes. We still are in contact with people we met there. We are still talking to people to make things into a reality. And some of these things cannot be mentioned, for instance, on the forum. So it may look like a conference ends after it ends. In fact, then if you do things right, that's the point where the work starts. So,
and I can add to this, to what Bass is saying. I have access to their private chat, and I can confirm that they are working on this in the background. Bass and the other guys that attended the Amsterdam conference, and just so that everyone in the next community knows, that there's something they're doing that you guys may not be aware of, and I just want to share this with you guys, and I hope it's okay with you, Bass, because it's not revealing anything confidential or private. But they have taken the several dozen connections and contacts and VCs and businesses and exchanges, and the Bass and the other guys have actually reviewed each one of them, and they have I've seen them discuss who is the ideal person to contact each person, each of those contacts that they made at the Amsterdam conference. And I think this is extremely valuable, that we have people in the next community that are willing to put their ego aside, okay, and let others who are better at it, because I've seen examples of where Bass has met certain people at the Amsterdam conference, and he would say, hey, you know what, I think that Chancer, you're more suited to discuss and connect with this person. Why don't you, talk to them and follow up with them? And then, likewise, Chancer or Data would say the same thing. And I want to share that with you guys because this is happening in the background that you may not be aware of. But that gives me a lot of confidence that we are following up on the leads and the networks and the connections that these guys are making at the Amsterdam conference and following through with it. But not just following through with it, but they're doing it with the right people. So if it's a technical individual that needs to be contacted or connected with, they will probably send Data to go talk to that person or connect with that person. to get questions answered and bring solutions. So in the background, guys, just so you know, these guys are really working hard to make that happen, and they're doing it with the right people.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mention it specifically because we're all very eager to see results, and that's perfectly normal. But sometimes a real business deal doesn't take one high on a conference. It's a risk for both parties, and both parties need to be satisfied that it's absolutely okay, and then they will put the signatures under it. So even if from the Amsterdam, but also this will also happen at the Pay Expo, people will be met, but it doesn't mean that all the payment processes will be in place the week after. So that's basically to the people who really want to see everything happen, but maybe are a bit disappointed that we're not available everywhere yet. We're working on it.
Okay. I want to just pause for a moment before I continue with you, Salsa. We have several questions on the YouTube live stream, and that people have typed in, and I've been putting it off and to let you guys talk. But I just want to address those questions that some of the viewers on the YouTube live stream have. And if any of you guys can answer this, whether it's you, Bass, Salsa, or Data, or Mark, it would be extremely helpful. The first question comes from G Vans H, and he says, do you have any info if the alias exchange will be implemented in the NRS update, in the next NRS update? In other words, I guess that was something that we discussed earlier. Are they going to implement, is Gene, Luke, or Wesley going to implement the alias exchange in the next update? If you guys know anything about that, please speak up. If you don't know, then just say you don't know.
I do not know whether it will be included in the next update, but it is so that something has been implemented and is being tested right now. But
Okay.
I cannot give the details because I'm not privy to that, but they are working on transferring aliases.
Okay. The other question is by Fatih. I don't even know how to say his last name, but he's curious what the next NRS release will include. Did the development team look at the critics about the new view of the assets in the asset exchange? You know, basically what we discussed earlier, Data, about the listings. Okay, you don't have anything. Okay. Bass has responded saying that you guys can see some of the latest developments.
I have to interrupt. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just getting a text message from Wesley. He says yes in the next version.
The alias exchange?
Yes.
Okay, so Wesley is watching this right now also, guys, and he just texted Data to notify us that the alias exchange will be implemented in the next Wesley client. Okay.
And I just want to tell everybody that I have 1,500 aliases for sale, so please contact me.
Speaking of aliases for sale, do you have my name ties in?
No, I don't.
Someone bought it and snatched it long before I even knew what it was. So
I've been waiting for 5 months for this thing. So thank you, developers.
Yeah. I hope it's not you that has my name and my alias, Bass. I hope you're not trying to hold me hostage and blackmail me for my own alias. Let me find out. Okay. All right. The other question is by Petit, and how about the new design of the client from Eidenfrisch? I don't know if you're watching this, Wesley. Can you text us and let us know when the corporate design will be implemented into the Wesley client? That would be awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I think that they are still waiting for programmers to even remake it from the Photoshop to the HTML version.
okay. All right. So basically, the corporate design is really slick and very, very professional looking. And I would have to say that I guess his name is Aydin Frisch, the designer who designed the overall look of the Next.org and all the templates and everything, the blue and gold design. It looks very nice and looks very professional, and that will be implemented. That design and that look will be implemented into the Wesley client, like Salsa just said. Once they get that the Photoshop designs converted to the HTML or whatever it is for the client. So, and also I want to mention that Bass put in there that if you guys want to look at any of the new stuff that's coming out for the clients, you're welcome to check it out on the testnet. Is that correct, Bass?
Well, the last thing I saw about the Alias Exchange, that's why I chipped in, was that they were testing it on the testnet. That's the last thing I read about it. So, but I didn't, and I was hoping if Data would say no, what are you talking about? But he didn't. So apparently it is.
Okay.
That's basically it.
Okay, so here's an update from Wesley. He just texted us, and this is the beauty of our modern day technology, guys. Wesley just texted us and said that the Alias Exchange will be implemented in the next version of the Wesley client, and he said that right now he's busy with working on the alias transfer in the digital goods store, and does not have time to code the corporate design into the Wesley client. So if someone is able to, he's asking for help and assistance. If someone can take the corporate design and convert it from the Photoshop files into the HTML files, then he will implement it into the Wesley client. So if you're listening to this and you have the ability or the skill to convert Photoshop designs into HTML, then please contact Wesley. All right, so that and don't even ask him, just do it and then send him the files, and then that way it'll reduce the back and forth. Okay. I also, since you're here, Salsa, last time Mario was here, he mentioned something about mynext.info or mynext.info or mynext.org or something like that. Could you clear that up or talk about that, or what is that about?
I know Abel, he's got some strange nickname. He's working on the website mynext.info, and they will be releasing a new version of the Next blockchain. It will support all those new features like assets and other stuff. So he's going to make it user-friendly, but it's not finished or in any open version yet.
Okay.
So you will have to check the forums to see when it will be released. So Nexters can use some other blockchains that are usually used.
Okay, so it basically mynext.info is basically the next version of the blockchain.info.
Yeah, blockchain.info. Plus, there is also a web wallet. What is good about this web wallet? It's that you don't have to download anything. You are not downloading the blockchain, any programs. You just connect there via your password. So all you need is to know is just your name and password, and you can access your online Next wallet.
Okay. So since we are on the subject of the blockchain and online wallets, I want to also bring up a wallet, a blockchain explorer and a online wallet project that is being worked on by two prominent members of the Next community, and that's Klee and Antonis. And I looked at Klee. For some of you guys that are not don't know, he's one of the original 72 or 73 stakeholders, and him and his colleague Antonis has been working on a project called nextblocks.info. That's Next spelled out N-E-X-T, blocks with an S, .info, and it is a blockchain explorer as well, and it's an online wallet as well. And one of the things that I like about it is that it includes the asset exchange listings on there with a bunch of asset exchange statistics, and it's the first one I've seen like that. And normally I do not. I normally don't try to plug businesses or anything like that into these next community updates. But this, I think, is a huge leap forward in viewing the asset exchange, and it's the first one that I've seen that lists the asset exchange and a bunch of relevant data. And I think it's in the beta stage at this moment, based on what I've seen at it. But it's getting more and better each day. So I invite some of you guys to take a look at it. Right now they have it as nextblocks.info, but my recommendation to Clee and to Antonis when I was in contact with Clee was to just name it as NXT Blockchain Explorer.info, so that it's easier for everyone to look at, or .com. So, but that's something, that's the nextblocks.info, and the one that Salsa just mentioned, my next.info, are two blockchain explorers and online wallets. The difference is that the nextblocks.info includes the asset exchange listings and lots of relevant data and statistics that go along with it. So, what is okay? So, does anyone else have anything else to add to the community update?
Well, I've got one news. In just this weekend, I would like to invite everyone to Vienna. There will be a big cryptocurrency expo. About maybe 500, maybe 1,000 people will be there. Vienna it's in Austria, and there will be about 5, maybe 6 nexters, and I will be going there. It's quite near to my place, and even the TextCoin guys, he will arrive, and he will use this to learn how to speak about Next in London. So he will try some things here and make it better to be prepared for London. So just in 3 days, Nexters will be going to present Next in Vienna crypto conference.
Okay. Will you post the date and the time in the community posting that I put up in the forum, Salsa, so everyone can, the ones that are not able to write it down, if they drive or anything like that?
Just this Saturday and Sunday. So.
Okay, and just I'm sure that you guys probably don't know this, but in case people are not familiar with where Vienna is at, that are geographically challenged, you're talking about Vienna in Austria, right? In the country of Austria?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Because I live in Texas, so like all of Europe probably can fit inside of Texas, so. So.
Don't overestimate it. No.
I might be exaggerating there a little bit, but for a lot of people in America that haven't left the country, they may not be aware where Vienna is at. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay.
Yeah. It's in Central Europe, so I can speak there in my native Czech language with Czech people and Slovakians. There will be other guys from Germany and to speak in German and so on.
Now, are you organizing this cryptocurrency meetup or conference, or is that just something that everyone decided to come together and that you're inviting everyone to it?
Well, we will even have there a booth. I ordered flyers, and so we are organizing this with TextCoins now, because he ordered a hotel and got tickets for us, and so we are co-working on this.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the update on that and the announcement on that, Salsa. Does anyone else have anything to update the community with, or have any questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah, this Vienna conference, that's a real conference, like it's like the Bitcoin conference, just smaller, right, Salsa?
Yeah, we thought it will be very small, but right now it looks like there will be at least 300, but might be even 1,000 cryptocurrency fans or people from those businesses. So we will talk to them about Next, present Next, and you know, I already did in Berlin, so I have some experience what to do and.
Yeah, and I saw that you also have a speaker slot, but it's at the last hour at the Sunday evening around 5.
This was for MacJavar, and I'm really not sure what the how if he will be there or won't be there. I have little problems with communication with him.
Okay, we
But
can talk about it.
mhm.
I'm interested, but then on the other hand, it's the last hour of the conference, so I'm thinking maybe most people will have left by then, and it's not worth coming. But we can talk about it. I gave my Skype in the chat here.
Yeah, maybe you guys should discuss that and figure out a way so that Mark can come there and speak or something. And that way, I know Mark will be more of a sure thing. If you're not able to get a hold of Macavar, Mark is right here. You're talking to him, so you can get a hold of him right here. So I would look into that. Okay. One last thing for question for you, Salsa. Are you going to continue to remain anonymous to the next community, or when are you going to get a webcam and grace us with your charming good looks here, or what? When will you go public here so that we know who Salsa CZ is?
I will see. I will have to wear some T-shirts, so it's...
Oh, so you have to put a shirt on? Yeah, that would be nice, and that would be a little professional.
Please do.
So maybe next month or...
Okay, all right. Well, okay. That'll be it for today's update, guys. I want to make one last announcement here. If you guys have noticed, I have my first Bitcoin T-shirt here, and I want to publicly thank James D'Angelo from the World Bitcoin Network. I was over at his house and having dinner with him and his family in Boston, Massachusetts, and I mentioned to him that it's amazing how I've been in Bitcoin this long and I don't have a Bitcoin T-shirt. So he ran down to his basement and grabbed me this shirt, and so it was the first time that I got a Bitcoin. I have a Bitcoin T-shirt now after being knowing about Bitcoin for almost a year, and I actually went to a few places in Dallas, and lots of people were pointing out this shirt that I got from James D'Angelo and said, hey, I like that, or I support Bitcoin. So maybe that's a good idea of some way we can come up with some next T-shirts in the future so that we can start putting the word out there. So, but my first Bitcoin T-shirt, guys, and this will conclude the update for today.
Yeah, congratulations. I also wanted to say quickly that this is the first time I hear Salsa speaking, but yeah, I'm so impressed. I've seen many videos and marketing work from you, Salsa, and yeah, thank you so much for everything you have done up until today.
Oh, thanks.
All right, this will conclude the update, guys, and let me just check one last minute. There's no last questions on the YouTube live stream here, and that's it. Peter, he posted, I guess, the coordinates for the Vienna conference or something like that. But all right, that will conclude this update, guys. Thanks for taking the time out to update the next community with what you guys are working on, and good luck at the Pay Expo. And I look forward to speaking with everyone again on the next update.